Over the last decade, Minecraft has grown one of the biggest modding communities in gaming, to be expected from such a massive cultural phenomenon, but it hasn't always been this way. In fact, when modding got its start in the first few years of the game, it was nothing more than basic commands to fix issues that Mojang hadn't yet. So how did we go from this to this? In today's episode of Minecraft Uncovered, we're going to explore the history of Minecraft mods. To set the stage, we have to take it all the way back to the start of Minecraft modding. Back when Minecraft released in 2009, modding wasn't really a thing. Nobody even considered it because there weren't any tools and the community was just a few hundred players. It took 2 weeks for it to even become possible, with Classic Creative Multiplayer releasing on May 31st of 2009, which encouraged the community to make new content like maps and mods. Except back then, mod loaders and clients didn't exist. Not even Minecraft had a client, you played it on the website like it was Club Penguin or something. But there was one way to start modding the game, and that was through server plugins. Nothing like we have today. These were some of the oldest, most rudimentary plugins around, just bug fixes and admin tools for the creative servers they made. But they were the building blocks for everything that we have today, and after a year without multiplayer while survival was being made, we got the first true Minecraft mods. They were still small and kinda boring compared to the massive mod packs we have today, but for the time, those HD textures and poison arrows were revolutionary. The only issue is that modding was complicated. Minecraft's code was all jumbled around, so trying to read it would be like reading Shakespeare in preschool. If you wanted to play more than 2 mods at once, you literally had to copy one into the other and go through every line of code to make sure they didn't cross wires and explode. And worst of all, some things just couldn't be done through mods. You would have to edit Minecraft's code itself to add new blocks and items. Modding was starting to catch on, but there were some serious problems that had to be fixed. And with how modding looks today, I think we all know that's what happened. It started with something called the Mod Coder Pack by Sarge, which labeled Minecraft's code so it was easy to understand, and it even scored Sarge a job at Mojang as a bonus. At the same time, all those server plugins that got discontinued or went inactive were replaced with Bukkit, which is still alive and kicking today, and their whole team joined Mojang too. Single player wouldn't even be left behind, with the first mod loader in the game's history, very creatively titled Mod Loader. Well done, guys. Well done. Now, mods could be mixed and matched at will, and you could do most of it outside of the actual game to boot. But even with this new era of modding, with huge names like Industriocraft and Buildcraft starting off here, it was far from perfect. Big mods like the 2 I just mentioned still had to edit Minecraft's code themselves, and if you wanted to use more than one, the answer was no. On top of that, just to get a mod playing in the first place, you had to manually add code to the Java files for Minecraft, which wasn't very easy for the 7-year-olds on their mom's laptop. So, 2 big modders at the time, Elorem and Spacetoad, set out to fix this with the release of Minecraft Forge. At the start it was just an add-on for ModLoader that combined big mods together, but when the devs lost interest and handed off Forge to some guy named Lex Manos, Forge absolutely exploded. With the enthusiasm and hard work put in by Lex, CPW, and the rest of the new Forge team, they made a brand new Forge mod loader that's been in use for the last 9 years. And outside of some new developments like the Fabric mod loader, that's pretty much the whole story of early Minecraft modding. But it would be a shame if we didn't talk about the mods that paved the way for what we have today. So let's take a brief detour to discuss some of the game changers in the Minecraft modding scene and see just how important those early days were. It ain't easy to just pick a few mods as the greatest of all time. I mean, there's just so many. Names like Tinkerer's Construct, Mine Factory, Biomes Aplenty, Applied Energistics, even smaller mods like Too Many Items were all part of those first big mod packs. You know, the ones you saw in modded survival videos from YouTubers like Sundy and Captain Sparkles, but there was so much more than that. So let's start with the biggest Minecraft mod, and maybe even the best of all time, Optifine. The first version of Optifine was way back in April 2011 on the Beta 1.4 update, but even today, Optifine has had more influence on the game than anything else. Besides, being the essential mod for every Minecraft player of the last decade, it also paved the way for all the new performance mods like Sodium, Iris shaders, Farplanes 2, and more. And on top of that, it also made the idea of client capes, which we now have on Lunar Client, Badlion Client, LabbyMod, and a lot more. Oh, and don't worry, we'll be talking about those ones soon. But for now, let's move on to another game-changing nostalgic mod that came just a few months after Optifine, but in a very different way: the Aether mod. If you live under a rock and haven't heard of the Aether, when you look at old Minecraft YouTube videos and see something like this, that was the Aether. A fourth secret dimension you could supposedly access by filling a glowstone portal with water. And it became so popular that it was a hoax for years, with clickbait YouTubers tricking little kids into thinking it was real. But with the right mods, you could actually visit the Aether dimension, which was based off the old Sky dimension that never made it into the game. The Aether was sort of this off-colored overworld floating way up in the sky, but with tons of new tools, armor, bosses, and dungeons. It was really revolutionary for the time, and YouTubers like AntVenom have done a really good job explaining why. The Aether's idea of a floating world got so popular that you could say it basically created Skyblock, as well as our next big mod pack, Sky Factory. Sky Factory was Skyblock taken to the extreme, with hundreds of mods turning Minecraft into a fever dream. Sky Factory absolutely ruled over YouTube for years, especially with this huge series by Sundy and Craner that regularly got 4 or 5 million views per video, which was a ton of people to all be watching a single mod pack. Even last year when Sundy came back for a bit, he easily got 3 million views per video, which are insane numbers for a Let's Play in 2020. But Let's Play videos weren't the only ones that got big in the early days of Minecraft YouTube. There was also this really big focus on modded challenges, and out of every mod in the whole game, one reigned supreme over them all. You know the one I'm talking about, the Lucky Block. The way that Lucky Blocks were so huge back in the day but have basically died now is kinda crazy. Nowadays, you're never gonna see any popular MMOs Lucky boss battles, no Sunday Lucky challenge races, nothing like that. But Lucky Blocks never really left when you think about it. I mean, we got Lucky Block Sky Wars and Bed Wars on Hypixel, Randomizer UHC, which is basically just a glorified Lucky Block challenge, and even this weird Lucky Block trend on Spanish YouTube. I mean, I don't understand it literally at all, which may possibly have something to do with me not speaking Spanish, I don't know, but I mean, if you're getting 41 million views on a Spanish Minecraft Lucky Block mod showcase in 2020, you're clearly doing something right. And hey, while we're on the topic of Minecraft YouTube trends, you guys remember RLCraft? In 2019 and 2020, we were absolutely flooded with RLCraft content, not just by the ordinary big Minecraft YouTubers of today, but everyone. PvPers like Calvin, comedy gaming YouTubers like Swagger Souls, heck even PewDiePie took a crack at it. And with the 100 Days trend that got huge this year, RLCraft has come back even stronger than before. Minecraft mods have had an insane development over the years, from basic commands to entirely new dimensions with thousands of original enemies to fight, resources to mine, and new biomes and dungeons to explore. And all of this from just the most basic code of the early 2010s. Except, along with these revolutionary mods, there was a problem spreading like a virus through the Minecraft community. With great mod loaders came great mods, and that included mods we would consider hacks. Now, I won't go into too much detail on the history of hacks, since it really deserves its own video, but it would be pretty stupid not to talk about them here. Minecraft hacking came pretty much as soon as modding was possible, and you can see examples of basic hack clients reaching as far back as 2010. The biggest one back then was this one called World of Minecraft, which could give you super speed, no clip, and even flying on creative servers. Yeah, this was 2010, they were still trying to figure out if dubstep was cool. You think they knew how to fly? These first hacks weren't usually bad, and most servers even allowed them since they were just fun to screw around with. But when survival multiplayer came around in August 2010, hacks became became a problem. Flying, speed, and no-clip weren't just fun tools for builders and tourists, but they were super unfair in fights, mining diamonds, raiding bases. Suddenly, hacks were a really big issue, and all servers could do to stop them was add an anti-cheat, usually one called No Cheat or No Cheat Plus, which is still being used by Hypixel 8 years later, which would explain why the anti-cheat hasn't worked in 8 years. But as anti-cheats evolved, so did the hacks they were trying to stop. When flying and speed were patched, hack clients added crouch speed and glide. When force field hacks were patched, a new hack called Kill Aura was made to aim at the players before you attack them. And with the rise of some griefing YouTubers called Team Abolition, Minecraft hacking was bigger than ever. Over the years, the power struggle between hacked client authors and anti-cheat plugins would grow more and more, with new hacks like Aim Assist and new patches to the anti-cheats fighting back and forth. See, flying, speed, Kill Aura, reach, those were all fine in single player, but on servers where the other players weren't on the same page, how are you gonna ban hacks while allowing innocent mods? I mean, anti-cheats did exist, and you could always ban hackers by hand, but you would never be perfect. Insert Mineplex joke here. Bad ping, or server lag, or exploits, or any of another billion problems could either make an innocent player seem like they were cheating, or mask when someone actually was. There had to be some way to put an end to this, a way to get to the root of the problem. But how was a server gonna safely get into a player's mods? About halfway into the decade, hacking was becoming a really big problem, especially on PvP servers, with the rise of closet cheating, ghost clients, and hidden hacks that even the cheater couldn't see. And when anti-cheats simply couldn't detect small changes to your reach and accuracy, and videos didn't help anymore, someone got an idea. What if, instead of a server-wide anti-cheat, you were able to put that on the players? What if you designed a client-side anti-cheat? The idea wasn't brand new, and client-side anti-cheats were already kinda popular, with things like the Valve anti-cheat already used in competitive games like CSGO. And with such a big overlap between the MC PvP community and ranked CSGO, they were bound to share a few similarities, including way too many hackers, way too much toxicity, and of course the idea for a client-side anti-cheat. So around 2015 and 2016, client-side anti-cheats slowly started to make their way into Minecraft, and the first of these that went public was Badlion Premium. Launched in late 2016 as a partnership with the Esports League, Badlion Premium was originally a subscription service to make Minecraft better than ever before. Along with the anti-cheat that nobody would ever shut up about, it also gave you smoother gameplay, FPS boosts, special chat, a friend system, instant replays, and even new game modes and premium matchmaking for players. Unfortunately for Badlion, this premium service completely failed and died after a year, but the idea of a special Minecraft client with an anti-cheat and FPS boost was very popular, and when the first version of it was officially released in May of 2017, it was a huge hit. Mysteriously though, while players were enjoying this new Badlion client, an alternative was way more popular with YouTubers and famous players. This weird private client that only a few people had access to, which had apparently been in development since 2015 but never released. A client called Cheatbreaker. And man, let me tell you, if you remember anything about the PvP community back in 2017 and 18, you remember Cheatbreaker. There were literally thousands of people claiming to sell access to this mysterious client that could apparently triple your frames, block cheaters, and add in brand new mods like Freelook all at once. For about a year, all anyone could do was hope and wish and pray to Lord Notch that they could score private access, but only about 1% of them actually managed to get it through giveaways and befriending the developer. In June of 2018, it would finally release, to screaming and kicking from the entire community. Not necessarily for bad reasons, but to cover the drama around this time involving both Cheatbreaker and Badlion would be roughly equivalent to opening a can of napalm in a house fire, so miss me with that. Now, early on, Cheatbreaker and Badlion Premium weren't exactly perfect. They were all glitchy and broken, didn't have a lot of mods, and only supported 1.7 and 1.8 since those were the big versions for PvP. So, over the course of the next few years, a ton of clients would suddenly pop up to fill in the cracks of the first PvP clients, while Cheatbreaker and Badlion played a game of catch-up. Names like Hyperion, Cosmic Client, and PvP Lounge come to mind, but there were also some smaller clients that are still around today, like Pixel Client, Eris, and Solware? But for the most part, all of these fizzled out over time, and some don't even exist anymore. Only 2 clients were ever really a success, Badlion Premium, which evolved into Badlion Client 3.0, and Cheatbreaker's younger brother Lunar Client that lost all the drama they had with the original. And really, nowadays, you don't need anything else. After all these years, those basic mods from the early days of the game have all come down to this. Massive clients with hundreds of mods that make the game run even better and block cheats while they're at it. The cheats themselves, which, while annoying, are honestly pretty impressive in what they're able to accomplish. And even huge mod packs introducing new dimensions, enemies, tools, armor, food, tech, mechanics, and more to Minecraft, transforming the basic block game into one of the wildest the world has ever seen. Hope you all enjoyed the video. This one was a wild ride to make. It literally wasn't even supposed to be this. It started off as a video just about Minecraft clients, but I needed to add some context for how Forge and Optifine led into the clients, and then I started talking about the early history in general, and the mods that came about, and then the hacks that these clients prevented, and now we're here. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I didn't miss too much, but I almost definitely did, so feel free to yell at me in the comments, and yeah. Only 0.01% of you guys are subscribed, so smash that freaking big red button and ring the bell until you give yourself hearing loss, and yeah, that's it. Peace, boys. Have a good one.